They were never meant to stay. You didn't see it then. You couldn't. You were too caught up in the moment, too caught up in what you thought was real, in what you thought would last. You believed in them, trusted them, fought for them. You gave them parts of yourself that you thought they would cherish, but God saw what you couldn't, and that's why He removed them. It didn't make sense at first. It felt like a punishment, like you were losing something important, like a part of you was being ripped away. But what you didn't realize was that you weren't losing anything. You were being protected. Protected from what? From the lies you couldn't see, from the betrayal that was brewing behind your back, from the pain that would have broken you if they had stayed longer than they were supposed to. You didn't know what they were saying when you weren't around. You didn't see the way they changed when you weren't looking. You didn't notice the subtle signs, the little shifts, the moments where their loyalty wavered, but God did. He saw the way they were planning to leave long before they ever walked away. He saw the way they never truly valued you, how they only stayed as long as it was convenient for them, as long as they could benefit from your presence. And so, He ended it. Not to hurt you, not to punish you, but to protect you, to remove the weight that you were never meant to carry, to take away the distractions that were keeping you from seeing your true path, to clear the space for something better, because what He has for you, it doesn't come with betrayal. It doesn't come with broken promises. It doesn't come with people who only love you when it's easy. It comes with purpose. And sometimes that purpose requires letting go. At first, you questioned it. You wondered what you did wrong. You replayed every conversation, every moment, every little detail, trying to find the mistake, the misstep, the thing that made them change. But the truth is, it wasn't you. It was never you. It was who they were all along. God just let them stay long enough for you to see it for yourself. Because sometimes He doesn't remove people immediately. Sometimes He lets them show you exactly why they don't deserve to be in your life anymore. And when that moment comes, when the truth finally reveals itself, you have two choices. You can fight for something that was never meant to be yours, or you can trust that God has already written something better. And if you trust Him, if you truly believe that He sees what you cannot, then you let them go. Without begging, without chasing, without questioning why. Because what's meant for you will never have to be forced, and who's meant for you will never need to be convinced to stay. One day, you will understand. One day, you will look back at the people you lost, the ones who walked away, the ones you thought would be by your side forever. And you will thank God they're gone. You will see the way He replaced them with people who actually love you, people who don't make you question your worth, people who don't make you fight for their attention. You will realize that what you thought was the end was really just the beginning of your healing, the beginning of your growth, the beginning of something greater than you ever imagined. And when that day comes, when you finally see why everything had to happen the way it did, you won't feel bitterness. You won't feel regret. You will only feel gratitude. Gratitude that God saw what you couldn't, and He removed them before they could destroy you. You may not understand it now, but one day you will. One day, everything that felt like a loss, everything that felt like a door slamming shut, everything that left you questioning why, it will all make sense. Because God never removes without reason. He never takes something away unless it was blocking what He had prepared for you. He never separates you from people unless they were holding you back from the version of yourself you were meant to become. And when that clarity comes, you won't feel anger. You won't feel resentment. You'll only feel gratitude. Gratitude that he loved you enough to intervene. Gratitude that he saw the things you couldn't see, heard the conversations you weren't meant to hear, knew the betrayals that had not yet reached you. Gratitude that he closed the doors you would have spent your life trying to force open. And when you reach that moment, when you finally see the bigger picture, that's when you'll realize losing them was never the loss. The loss would have been keeping them. Because what's meant for you, it doesn't have to be manipulated. It doesn't have to be chased. It doesn't have to be convinced to stay. It stays because it belongs. And the people who walked away, the ones who left without looking back, the ones who thought they could live without you, they were never meant to stay. They were never part of the story God was writing for you. Because when he removes, it is always for a purpose. To make room, to make space, to free you from what would have only kept you stuck. And one day, they will realize it too. One day, they will look back and see exactly what they walked away from. They will remember the way you loved them, the way you forgave them, the way you stood by them when no one else did. And they will understand that they didn't just lose someone, they lost a blessing. Because you weren't just anyone. You were someone sent by God, someone placed in their life for a reason, someone who was meant to build them, to strengthen them, to guide them towards something greater. But instead of seeing that, they chose to take you for granted. And now they have to live with the consequences, not because you seek revenge, not because you wish them harm, but because when God removes, he does not return. Once he lifts you from a place, from a person, from a situation, that chapter is closed forever. And no matter how much they regret it, no matter how much they wish they had done things differently, no matter how much they pray to get another chance, they won't. Because that door, it was closed for a reason. So let them wonder, let them regret, let them look for you in places they will never find you again. Because the person they left behind doesn't exist anymore. You have grown, you have healed, you have stepped into the life God had prepared for you all along, and they are just a lesson now. A lesson that you don't beg for what's meant for you. A lesson that when people walk away, you let them. A lesson that when God removes someone, you trust him because he saw what you couldn't and he saved you before it was too late.